just did. I want to repeat some. Can you hear me, by the way? I feel like this is going in.
What'd you say?
Yeah, nice. How's this? Better? Better, and if I keep talking, does it sound? I feel like I'm fading in and out.
You are.
Or is it just me fading in and out? Get one more button up. Is that the deal? So, I'm so sorry, guys. How's this? Is it? Am I blocking? Is that the deal? Is my cool polyester collar? I thought what we do is, especially with the limited amount of time that we have, first I want to make this very interesting for all of you, so I'm going to try to save some time for a Q&A towards the end of this. But to sort of compress what we did last time, I thought it might be interesting to take a look at some excerpts of pieces of mine that sound strikingly similar, and explain why it is that they sound strikingly similar, why I keep doing the same damn thing over and over. Yeah, well, because I want to thank you. I tried to assure the last group that it's not, I think other composers are this way too. I was speaking about Mort Lauritsen and about how I think Mort Lauritsen has the same thing. It's instantly recognizable. It's like this thing that he does over and over and over. And I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I believe it's probably for the same reason mine is, which I'd like to explain. Since I can remember, well, I should give you just a little bit of background. I started off as a pop musician in high school, and I played synthesizers. I didn't read music. I knew nothing about classical music, and I got tricked into singing in the choir when I came to college. It's the greatest trick that has ever been played on me. And it was 3 years into my 7-year undergraduate degree that I decided to write. Yes, that's right. I took the victory lap 3 times. that I decided to write my first piece, my first classical work, and it was a piece called "Go Lovely Rose." I wrote it for the choir conductor there at college. And even then, when I look back now, I certainly didn't do this consciously at the time, and I don't think I really even do it consciously now. But even then, I can look at that piece that's nearly 20 years old and say, God, here's what I was doing. It begins with this chord. Just five notes up, and I've certainly done that more than a few times in my career. The reason I think I gravitated towards that kind of thing was, first, I was a terrible, and still am a terrible singer. And it was just a very simple way for me to find my way into a deep cluster chord, and sort of for everybody. You know, you just sing a scale, and then each part holds on a note up. It's become, for my whole life, I love doing stuff like that. That sounds, Luxa Rumque starts. I just love that. So some of them are going up a half step, some down, or going up a whole step, some are going down a whole step. And I think what you can do is you can create these shimmering dissonances. Relatively easy, right? Singers just sort of do it, and then they find themselves in the middle of this thing going, oh my God, they're singing an 8-part chord. That was the first reason. And the second reason is that these chords somehow meant something to me. They really, I haven't solved the mystery of it yet, but somehow those 5 notes mean to me a rose. And not a picture of a rose, but you know, there are really no words for it. I feel as soon as I start to explain it, becomes this other thing, but it's the deepest part of me comprehending the essence of a rose. That's what it sounds like to me. I get asked a lot, you know, like what does Water Night mean? What does that poem mean? And I always tell people, well, the only way I can describe what it means is the music. The music is exactly what it means to me. And so it's like that for me. And what I started doing very early on was building these clustery things. I didn't realize I was going to be the cluster guy. That sort of happened on accident. But beginning of Cloudburst, for instance. Another one of those things, you're just singing a major chord and you find yourself in the middle of a 7-part cluster. And that chord then came to mean for me rain, or more specifically, I was quoting Octavio Paz at that point, Eyes of Dream Water. Dream Water for me was rain, and I quote that in Water Night, that same chord, in the same place, in the same text, but in a different context. And in that chord, actually, let me just teach this to you real quick? La lluvia. Right, so sopranos, half of you are going to stay on the A, half are going to sing la lluvia. Got it, sopranos? Let's hear it. La lluvia. Right, so go straight to the A one more time. Make sense? Altos? Go. That's it. Tenors? Ready? And basses, you're just going to stay on the A. Ready? So everybody. Time now, and this time half that loud, and can you close very gently to our friendly M. Ready? Good. Very creative basses. That's all right. It's funny, you know, it was years until I realized that it happened forever, where they built a chord, you know, like this. And you hear people in the audience go, oh God, Randall Thompson, hallelujah, terrific. You know, it starts, what the heck is that? What happened for me in that moment, and again, I didn't do this consciously, but it became this thing that somehow closing to an M or to an N symbolized for me opening this door into what I call the dream world. And the dream world's kind of it's just a moniker I have where really all of these things sort of, I can't describe. I'm sure you have internal things. Do you find that? You know, like describing the way you feel about your children, and you have to use the word love. Well, love doesn't even come close. And it's not that it's too small a word, it's just that the way you feel about your children is, right? There simply are not words for it. And so that thing became that I started closing to M and to N to signify dream time, which I still do in all of my pieces. So if I ever use the word dream, we'll close to M. If I want to suddenly close to go into that place for a little while, I do it in Leonardo Dreams of his flying machine, right? It goes to an N, and the wind is calling to him in his dreams. It's like this endless dream thing I'm working on. It's probably because I don't sleep very much with my kid now, but I wrote then, in 1999, a piece called When David Heard. And guys, we're not going to do the beginning, let's just do the end. Is that okay? The beginning begins this way. When David heard that Absalom was slain, he went up into his chamber over the gate. And it's this chord that I want to come back to after this. But we're going to sing now the end of the piece. You'll notice as